Great day, attractive thinker. Dr. Tony Hatton here, your identity coach and get to the root specialist for new and aspiring entrepreneurs who desire to break through those blocks, because that's what we're going to be talking about today, that are hindering your success in your business, in writing your book, or even starting or launching your business, or making your business profitable. Whatever that might be, there are some blocks. And every entrepreneur experiences that. There are some blocks along the way. I always say that entrepreneurship is all about personal growth and development, because that's what it was for me when I started many, many years ago. And I wanted to stop by and support you with 3 blocks that I've discovered that keep entrepreneurs procrastinating, that keep you pulling back and hesitating and starting and stopping in your business, whether it's writing your book, because everybody has a story and everybody needs to hear your story. I want you to think about that. When I say everybody, everybody assigned to you, your tribe, your community, the people who are resonating with your voice, the people who have the problem that you have the solution to. They need to hear your story. So there are blocks to getting that out. Again, I want to stress the fact that there's nothing wrong with you. I want you to understand that we sometimes we hit these blocks in our on our journey. We feel like something's wrong with us, or something's wrong with what we're trying to accomplish, or there's something wrong with the book or the idea that I have. And I want you to know that there is nothing wrong with you. Just that thought alone. What do you think about that? What do you think about the thought, there's nothing wrong with me? Wow, I never considered that. Is that even possible? Yes, I'm here to tell you that that is possible. I want you to visit our website, theattractivethinker.guru, that's .guru, and get your free gift, how to turn your problems into your solution. It's going to support you in creating some shifts in your life. It's going to help you in shifting your perception, number one, so that you can see things differently. And once you see things differently, how you see a thing determines everything. And when you see it differently, things begin to change. You begin to shift and change other areas of your life that are affected by that one shift. So I want you to visit the website, theattractivethinker.guru, and grab that free gift, okay? Today, we're going to be talking about 3 blocks that keep entrepreneurs procrastinating, that keep you stuck in your business, because you want to know. You're here to give birth. You're here to create. You're here to provide a solution for the people that have the problem that you solve. And in order for you to do that, you have to free yourself. I want you to think about that. You have to free yourself. So there are some obstacles along the way that sometimes, I mean, if you're like me, you try to bulldoze your way over top of it. You try to accomplish whatever it is that you're working on anyway. But there comes a time in your entrepreneurial journey that you have to take the time to uproot these obstacles so that you can flow freely in your business, and your gifts begin to flow freely to others, the people that you're here to serve. So one of the blocks that really keep entrepreneurs procrastinating is belief. You have to have a strong belief in what it is that you're doing, in the gifts that you serve the world, in the solutions that you provide to the people that have the problems, that are struggling. That, listen, I want you to understand something, attractive thinker. The people who you're here to serve, they really are struggling. I want you, when I began to think about that many, many years ago, I had to sit with that thought for a moment, because, starting as an entrepreneur, you don't feel worthy. You don't feel like you have anything that people need, or you have anything to say that they want to hear. So I had to sit with that. You mean there are millions of people that can get a solution from the resources that I provide, or they'll get answered, or they'll get delivered, or they'll break free, or they'll heal from something that I share, from something that I've been through? Yes, that's what I'm saying to you. And if you're struggling to believe that, think about this for a moment. Think about the books that you've already read that have helped you overcome some obstacles in your life. Well, the person who wrote that book, they had mental blocks. They had obstacles that they had to overcome in order to get that book into your hands. And that book actually set you free in so many areas. Well, your book will do the same for others. It's just that simple. Let's not make it complicated. You've overcome something in your life, or you've discovered how something works in your life. If it worked in your life, it'll work in other people's lives as well. So think about it in that sense. Another thing that I want to share in this thing that we're talking about, this block called belief, when you begin to, when you discover that something works in you, I want you to understand that it will work in others. The thing that you've been struggling with, if you find an answer to it, if it helped you, it would help millions of others. Think about that, attractive thinker. If you have a recipe that's fantastic and amazing, and if you enjoy it, others will enjoy it as well. If your book is about some research or something that you've discovered or something that you want to share, something you've overcome, a pain, a trauma, whatever it might be, an accomplishment, you never know who needs to hear what you have to say. So believing fully, belief is very, very powerful. You have to believe fully in the fact that you are an answer to somebody's problem. Your journey is an answer to someone's problem. I always say to my clients, if you've come through something, if, for example, that let's envision this for a moment. If you're going through the forest and you encounter so many things along the way, animals, traps, snakes, um, 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 sharp things, you cut yourself on branches or mud and water, quicksand, whatever it might be. If you made it through the forest and you know that there are people coming behind you, it's in your heart. It's built in to tell them, to show them the way. Like when you get to this point, you're going to have to duck in order to get through because there are things overhead that could really hurt you. Or when you get to this part, you're going to have to go around the path, not stay on the straight path, but you're going to have to go around and come back on the path because there's water there, or there's a river there, or there's quicksand there. That's a book. Now, here's the deal. There are millions of people journeying through the journey that you've already accomplished and conquered. They need what you have to offer, and they're looking for solutions. You don't want them to have to experience the same thing you experience. You want to expedite their process and lighten the load a little bit so that they don't have to experience all of these obstacles. And each one has a different type of experience. But if you show them the way, now here's the deal. When you come out, can you imagine millions of people coming up to you asking you how you came out? And every time you turn, you got to tell the same story. Your book is the one story. All you have to do is tell it one time and you can give it and share it with millions. I want you to think about that. All you have to do is share your story one time in your book, and it's told and it's sold. You can sell it to millions. You can use it to deliver millions. You can use it to heal millions and show people the way. Do you know that people will expedite their process, and not only that, they'll travel the journey that you traveled with less stress and pain and heartache, and they'll save time and energy and money and resources and mental stress, all because you showed them the way. You shared your story. So belief, having full belief in what it is that you're doing, will launch you forward. It will expedite your process. It will prevent you from dragging and procrastinating and waffling back and forth and starting and stopping and wandering and talking yourself into and out of the very thing that you know has made a difference in your life. So belief is the number one block that causes entrepreneurs to procrastinate. Another block is lack of clarity. You have a vision, but you don't see it clearly. It's like you see it in a fog, or it's cloudy, or it's not clear. It's distorted a little bit. All you see is like, a little piece of the vision, or it's foggy. You got a glimpse, or you can feel a little bit of the vision. You get a sense for it. You try to explain it to someone, you really just can't get it out the way you saw it, or the way you desire for them to experience what you experienced when you first got the vision. I want you to think about that. Lack of clarity can really cause an entrepreneur to procrastinate. Procrastination is not an option when you're here to create, live, and leave a legacy that speaks when you no longer can. This is what we do here in our Attractive Thinker community. So we don't have the luxury of procrastinating. So we have to find out what these blocks are so that we can continue with speed and get things accomplished that we desire to accomplish with our lives. So lack of clarity is a big deal. You're not clear as to what the vision is, or you're not clear how it fits with what you're doing or who you are or what your calling is in the world. You're not clear how to shape it and package it. You're not clear how to word it and explain it and express it. You're not clear how to market it or get it into the hands of your community, your tribe, the people that you're here to serve. So lack of clarity can really cause an entrepreneur to procrastinate. You find yourself not looking forward to creating your idea, or not looking forward to working on it, or of course, when you don't believe in it, you allow it to sit on your nightstand. And if you're like me, when I started, I had written my first book in 2005, and I allowed it to just the manuscript to just sit on the night table near my bed, at the bottom of the night table on the stand. It was just the manuscript was just sitting there. I had not taken the next step to getting the manuscript and put into book form, with my designer that I currently have, and actually sending it to the publisher to be printed. I just procrastinated on it, and a friend called me one day, and we were talking about it, and she says, "So you tripping? Okay, so you wrote the book and now you tripping." And that conversation that we had made me take the manuscript that I had written and continue the process, take it to the next level, let the graphic designer, put it in book format and create the cover and send it to the publisher, copyright it, do whatever I needed to do to get the book in print. And that book was printed in 2005, and it's an incredible, it was a documentation of my story, an experience that I had that has blessed many lives since that book was published. And I'm saying that to you, attractive thinker, you have to remove the blocks. You have to discover what they are and remove them so that you can express. Your gifts need a space, a vehicle, a channel, means to express itself. And if something is blocking that, then we have Attractive Thinker tools at theattractivethinker.guru. I want to encourage you also, when we talk about the lack of clarity, book a clarity session. Now, here's the deal. Go to the website clarity.theattractivethinker.guru. Clarity, CLARITY .theattractivethinker.guru, and get unstuck, get clear. Book a conversation with me, get on my calendar, schedule a date and a time that's convenient for you, and let's get the vision clear. Once the vision is clear, you're going to move fast because there are no more obstacles. It's not cloudy, it's not foggy. You're not wandering and trying to figure out what this vision is. You see it clearly and you know exactly what to do to make it manifest in your life so that you can get it into the hands of those you're here to serve. The third block, I want you to think about this. There are 3 blocks. The third block, for entrepreneurs, new and aspiring entrepreneurs, that really keep you procrastinating is the opinion of others. What will other people think? What will other people say? Have you ever found yourself creating your idea, and instead of you creating it and expressing it from who it's coming through, which is you, and shaping it and packaging it in a way that expresses you, you find yourself thinking about what other people would think, or no, I can't really make it that color because somebody might feel a certain way about that color, and this is your favorite color. This is the color that expresses your business. It expresses your brand. It reveals who you really are on the inside. You're in alignment with it. It makes you feel fantastic and amazing, yet you're considering not putting who you fully are out there because you're considering what other people might think or other people might say, whether they'll like it or not. The real deal is, attractive thinker, do you like it? That's the most important thing. Do you like it? You want to package and express, let your gifts be an expression of you and what you like. So getting over people's opinions and needing validation and approval from people for your ideas. Let me share something with you. I was at a Christian writers conference. This was many years ago when I, started the writing process. I was at a Christian writers conference, and one of the opportunities that they gave us, and we knew it before we even attended the conference because they notified us through email, bring your manuscript that you're working on. And we have publishers here, and they were prominent publishers. If I begin to name them, you'll know exactly who they are. We have publishers here, is what they said to us, who will review your manuscript. And I was so excited. I was like, man, this is so awesome. So bring your manuscript. They're going to review your manuscript. They'll give you their thoughts on it. And then you can, they may sign sign a contract with you right there on the spot. So I was so excited. And of course, I brought my manuscript, and my appointment time had come within the conference, and I sat with a publisher, and they took my manuscript, and later on that day they gave it back. And everybody who signed up for these opportunities did the same thing. So we collaborated. Me and a couple of other ladies, we had an inner circle, and we collaborated and conversated about the responses that we got back. And my manuscript had red ink on it, like everybody else's did, but I'm just describing it to you. It had red ink on it where they were, in the sidebar, in the margin, they were expressing their thoughts and what I should do and what I needed to shift or edit or, change and things like that. So there was this lady sitting next to me, and she was prominent. She's, well known. If I share with you the name, you would know exactly who I'm talking about. And she said to me, after everybody from the circle had, we all gave opinions and celebrated and congratulated everyone, wished everyone success. And, people started moving away, going to different parts of the conference and things like that. So it was just me and this lady sitting next to me. And she turned to me and she said, look around. She said, do you notice anything? She said, Tony, the Spirit of God inspired you to write this book. That was inspiration coming from you, the words in this book. You were inspired to write that. She said, don't ever take what God has inspired you to write and give it to someone else for their validation, approval, permission, and acceptance. It changed my life. It changed my life. I had never considered that, because we always want, especially with people that we feel as though are professionals or know more than we do in a specific area, you would like to get their opinion, or advice, or, just, some remarks, some feedback, because as a publisher, I'm not a publisher, you would think that they know what they're doing, and they can give you some advice and help you out with what you're doing. But she looked at me and she said, this is a God-inspired book here. She said, when you look around this conference, do you feel that spirit that inspired you to write that book? So why would you take something God inspired and give it to someone who you don't feel that same, spirit resonating with, and then take what they say as face value? She said, if you continue to do that, God won't trust you with what he gives you anymore. It changed my life to have that conversation with her. She said, God trusted you. And I remember writing that book. Don't be afraid, he's preparing you. And you can find it on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles and where books are sold. I remember writing that book, and what I was experiencing while writing. I would be asleep, and I would just wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, just like that. And I was like, oh God, I'm so tired. And, to wake up that early, it was only a few more hours after that I would really have to get up and get my children ready for school and make breakfast and, start that day, that routine. And I was like, oh God, I'm so tired. Can I just sleep a little bit more? And I mean, it was like almost every night, back to back. And until I understood what was going on, until I got the message. And sometimes I would be dead sleep. I would be so tired. I mean, you know how you go to sleep and you're not really tired, and you can wake up at the sound, at the drop of a pin, something will wake you up. But when you're really, really tired, you can sleep through a thunderstorm. I've done that before. I was like, oh my God, somebody will ask me, did you hear the thunder last night? I was like, no, I didn't hear anything. I must have been really tired. So when I caught on to what was happening, sometimes I'd be so sleep in a deep sleep and my eyes would open and I would look at the clock because I started noticing these patterns. I was like, let me see if it's, and it would be 3:00, 3:00 a.m. on the dot, not 3:01, not 3:02. It was 3:00 on the dot. And I was so tired. And then I started yielding to that. And I grab a pen and paper before now I have pen and paper almost in every room in my home because I understand when inspiration comes, you have to capture that. You're responsible for that inspiration. Trust me, I've tried to do that as well. I would be around the house doing some things or in the office doing something, and inspiration would come and I'd be busy doing something. I say, oh, wow, that was powerful. And I'll write it down later. And then when I got back to the time that I wanted to capture that, I could get an idea of what that inspiration meant. I can get an idea of what it meant, but I couldn't word it exactly the way it came to me. The words, because words have power, and how you position them and move them around on paper has a certain effect and impact. So you have to capture. And I learned to be responsible. I don't care where I am. When inspiration comes to me, if I have to take the note on my phone, if I have to record a voicemail on my phone, if I have to pull out a pen and paper, wherever I am, I don't care if I'm in a movie theater, and my family knows I will pull a pen and paper out in a minute and turn a little tiny light on. I'd be like down in a little corner of my chair taking notes, because inspiration is powerful. There's deliverance in it. There's healing in it. There's clarity in it. And you don't want to miss that inspiration. And it meant what it said. When it came to you the way it came to you for a reason, and you have to capture it just like that. So I recall when I was writing my book and getting up at 3 a.m., I said, okay, I'm going to get up. And at the time, I didn't have my notepad and pen. I wasn't disciplined enough. I wasn't clear enough. I didn't know what this calling was. And so I had a napkin. My first book was written on napkins. Did you hear what I said? Napkins and raggedy pieces of paper, torn off pieces of paper, because the inspiration was coming so fast. I had to just grab whatever was available, paper towels, napkins, whatever. And I would sit at the top of my stairs in my home and just write. I mean, inspiration would just come. I wasn't saying anything, and I could just hear the voice, and sometimes 4 or 5 or 6 pages would just come out of my spirit into that book. So I know exactly what she meant when she said that book was God inspired. God gave it to you. You don't take it, what God give you, and run it by man and ask for their approval and permission to publish something that God gave you. So my first book, and all of my books actually, are self-published, because, and I started out the conventional way, reaching out to traditional publishers and things like that, just to get these computer generated letters, denial letters, or, I could tell they were generic because they weren't really addressing me or what I had submitted to them. So I started self-publishing. And when I self-published, you don't need approval or permission, or you don't have to wait. There's no 3 to 6 months, 6-month waiting period. You capture the inspiration, you get God inspired, you write it down, you edit it, or you hire an editor, and I've done that as well. And you copyright it, make sure it's secure, because it's yours, it's your intellectual property. You want to secure that. And then you take it to your designer to design your cover, to design, the book, the manuscript, put it in book format. And there are so many self-publishing companies out here. You hire a print-on-demand company. I'm sharing. I hope you're taking notes, because I'm sharing with you the book writing process, the book publishing process. And you just, hire someone to publish the book for you, a print-on-demand company. And it's just that simple. Now, there are other things, that you have to do in between to make your book fantastic and amazing. And that's why you need to book that clarity session, because I help new and aspiring entrepreneurs write their books. I pull the book out of you. You don't even know that you have a book in you. And it's not just one book. There's a volume, there's a series, a book series in you. And you never know the impact that it's going to make it in the earth if you don't give birth to it, if you don't sit down and write it. So you need to to book that clarity session with the attractive thinker, myself, Dr. Tony, so that you can get an attractive thinker perspective. An attractive thinker perspective with vision and clarity and full belief is totally different than just writing a book, just, writing a book like you're sharing your journal entries or something like that. You want your book to be fantastic and amazing. And we have so many stories of entrepreneurs that I've helped publish their books. I mean, even as young as 21 years old, 20 years old. Actually, this young man was 20 years old when he wrote his first book, and he was in college at the time. So it's possible. You have a book in you and you need the attractive thinker to pull it out of you. So these are the three blocks that keep new and aspiring entrepreneurs procrastinating, and it keeps you stuck, and it keeps you from manifesting and creating that idea that you have, be it a book or a business, and sharing it with the world. Time is of the essence. Time is not waiting for us to get over ourselves and get out of our own way and really do what we're called to do. We're here to create, live, and leave a legacy that speaks when we no longer can. So in order for you to do that, you have to produce, you have to create. 3 blocks. I want you to recognize these 3 blocks when they show up in your life and book that clarity session so I can help you overcome these blocks so that you can remove them out of your way, out of the way of your success, out of the way of your clients and customers, out of the way of your products and services, out of your way so that you can move freely through this earth and create and serve, create and serve, create, enjoy, and serve. I want you to think about that. Clarity. Visit the website, clarity.theattractivethinker.guru, G-U-R-U, www.clarity.theattractivethinker.guru. Okay, so 3 blocks. Before I wrap this up, 3 blocks. I want you to think about this as you go about your day. This is very important. Belief. Is belief, having full belief, is that blocking you? Is that causing you to procrastinate because you don't fully believe? You know what to do. Book a session. Okay. The lack of vision. Is your vision cloudy? Do you not see it in its fullness? Are you seeing bits and pieces of it? Is it foggy? Are you hesitating towards it because you can't figure out how to shape it into what you need it to be so that you can package it and serve it? And getting over people. Are you still concerned about what people think about what it is that you're doing? Is how people feel, or even their comments. When you go to share your vision, are their comments blocking you? Are their comments stopping you from moving forward? Do their comments make you uncertain about yourself and what it is that you have to share with the world? These are 3 blocks that need to be uprooted and removed because they are hindering you from making progress there. And the people that you're here to serve are still suffering. They're still pacing the floor in the midnight hour, looking for solutions that you have, you have the answers to. They're dealing with problems that you have the answers to. And I know that to be true because so many times I've paced the floor in the middle of the night until I found someone who had an answer for what I was dealing with. And I love books. You've heard the phrase, if you want to keep something from someone or hide something from someone, put it in a book. Attractive thinkers have libraries. I want you to think about that. And I want you to look at your books. Look at the books that you've already bought. You are an author just like them. So focus on these, when you go throughout your day to day, pay attention to the blocks that come up. Is it a belief block? Is it a lack of clarity? Or is it a people block? Are you still anchored in what people think about what it is that you're doing, the greatness that you're stepping into and manifesting in your life? Do you still need permission? You don't need permission to be great, to share your greatness, to express your greatness. Are you still looking for validation and acceptance? You don't need to be accepted. You're already accepted. Just the mere fact that you're born, just the mere fact that you're still breathing, you're already accepted and approved and validated. So let's make this happen. Let's move forward. Let's share our gifts with the world, okay? Book your clarity session, clarity.theattractivethinker.guru. Dr. Tony Hatton here, your identity coach and get to the root specialist, here to support new and aspiring entrepreneurs with mental health resources for mental healing, mental strength, and mindset maintenance. You hear me say this all of the time. My life's work, that's to make your life better. It is not what you're going through, it's how you're viewing it. Think attractively, and I'll see you soon.